Channel 2S is brought to you by New Type HQ. Get your kits and supplies at the link in the description below. So welcome everyone to Channel 2S. This is the first time I've done a Gunpla News live, but I figured since, hey, I've been streaming pretty much every day anyways, might as well do a Gunpla News stream. Now, I'm not sure how long this stream is going to be because in true Bandai fashion, as they always do, there's really only one actual new kit announcement to go over. So I might be talking about some other stuff later on. I'll try to include some sort of adjacent news, maybe some 30-minute missions, maybe some other sort of minor stuff, but for the most part, we'll be looking at the GM guy we got on screen right now. So this is the GM Spartan. It is a heavily modified GM Sniper 2. You can kind of tell when you look at the legs here that it's got the back thrusters and like the kneecaps and the sides of the legs are kind of similar, but I would say probably like 75% of this is brand new kit. This backpack is completely new. There's a lot of extra armor on the head. There's extra armor on the shoulders. He's got his beam sabers kind of both up on one shoulder, which is kind of an interesting configuration. I don't think I've seen that before on a model. Really, most of what you see on this model is new tooling outside of what? The hands, the little ankle guards, maybe the upper thighs, though those look like they've kind of got some new details on them too. For the most part, this is almost a brand new kit. So of course, it's P Bandai. Now his new rifle is looking pretty interesting. I don't know if I like it as much as the classic GM Sniper Custom, not GM Sniper Custom. I don't know if I like it as much as the classic GM Sniper 2 rifle, but it is still kind of neat. It's got the tri-barrel configuration here on the front. Down here we can see he's got a cool hunting knife on his backpack. So you can see him with the knife out. Obviously this blade's not gonna be silver. He's got a bunch of cool thrusters in the back. This backpack actually kind of reminds me of, not the Minesweeper, but the high mobility type Zaku with that kind of... Oh wait, no, maybe it was the Minesweeper that had these vents in the bottom. It definitely looks like some sort of Zaku backpack that I've seen before. Little piece that pops up here in the backpack. We have all his accessories here, quite a spread of accessories. You can see the two sets of sabers. You can see the sword with the sheath. Always love a sheathable knife. You can see the gun here with its little front handle. And he's got the same hands as the standard GM Sniper 2. This is not a kit that I'm probably going to be picking up myself. I do really like the base GM Sniper 2, but I already have a Sniper 2. I have a Dominance. I feel like I'm pretty much set with this like style of GM. However, I gotta say, it's still a pretty awesome looking kit. If you love these type of like military tactical looking builds, this is an absolute must-have. Unfortunately, it is P Bandai. However, it is a high grade, so it's not going to be too expensive. And since there aren't really a whole lot of other kits coming out right now, it shouldn't be too hard to set aside the money for it. We have the box art for the high-grade After Colony Shenlong. And I gotta say, I really, really like the box art for this kit. The fire and the flames coming out of it just looks so cool. The pose is great. This is very good looking kit box art. I also like that you can see the Death Scythe and the Sandrock there in the background. I believe this is based off that like introductory scene for the Shenlong you see in the beginning of the show where he's like torching like Oz soldier barracks or something, and that was like our introduction to the Shenlong. That definitely seems like it's either, if not specifically the scene they're referencing, there definitely seems like they're trying to emulate sort of the look of that scene with all the fire everywhere. They're ruining the box art with the new Bandai Namco label. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm not a fan of that. I wish they just would use the one. I don't mind if they use the Spirits logo. I don't mind if they use the kind of parent company Bandai Namco logo. I just wish they'd pick one or the other. But seeing the same company name logo two different ways on the same box is just so tacky looking. So one thing I think I've seen a couple people point out is it does seem like this kit is designed to accommodate the Ultron as a future kit, which obviously they would do. You know, not only do we have this kit, we also have the Geon Ultron from Bill Divers. So here's the arm. I think we actually hadn't seen how this works exactly. Basically, the way it works is there's a little section of arm that folds up inside the shoulder so you can have the working extension mechanism, but then there are additional arm segments that you can place inside of the existing segments on the arm to make it even longer to give it that really exaggerated look. I think that's a really good way to do it because it's kind of the best of all worlds. You get the arm that's able to fold up in the shoulder, but you also get the longer arm if that's what you want too. I think that's a really good way to handle that. These stickers look really sensible. The only ones I'm really noticing here outside of the sensors are literally just the little green gems on the shoulders, and yeah, those are round parts, so these stickers aren't going to look that bad, or they're not going to look that good rather, but they're literally the only stickers on the entire model, which I think is pretty darn good. I want to talk a little bit about 30-minute missions because we do have a couple new kits coming out in this line, and I haven't really been personally paying a ton of attention to it recently, so I figured it'd be nice to get caught up a little bit. The new release we have coming out is these two sets right here. So this is one of those basic body designs, and it looks fine. It looks very okay. He does have a beam saber, that's kind of cool. I've got kind of an issue with this line where I think at the start, 30-minute missions was a really cool idea. These simple generic robots that are really easy to build, lots of hard points, lots of customization options, great idea. However, I think they've been doing these sort of generic type bodies for a little bit too long now, and I'd really like to see them experiment more with some different styles of kits that have more of a distinct look to them. And I know the initial idea behind the line was that everything was very, very plain and generic so you could customize it yourself, but I think the line's been going on for long enough now that in order to keep things interesting, they kind of do have to innovate a bit. I would like to see some more variety in the types of mecha bodies that they make. For example, animals would be really cool. Let's say they did a 30-minute missions of like a quadruped, like a tiger or a bull or something, maybe some sort of bird, a scorpion. There's a lot of interesting body types they could incorporate into this building system and have them cross-compatible with each other, so you could like combine the quadruped with like a normal Portanova or something to make like a centaur. There's all sorts of cool stuff they could do with this line, and I hope they don't restrict themselves too much to making these really generic models, so they're able to really creatively experiment with this line and make some cool, interesting stuff. This just does nothing for me. I don't think this is a very interesting looking design at all, and the same with the weapon set they're doing as well. Like, it's cool, there's some guns, they're nice looking guns, but we've gotten a lot of guns from 30-minute missions, and this is not doing really anything to excite me at all. I'd really like to see them branch out more and experiment with making some really interesting and unusual types of weapons, types of bodies for kits that we really haven't seen before. I think the best thing they've done so far has been the 30-minute sisters, just because it's taking the same basic idea and applying it to something else that's really fresh and interesting. And while there have been other Mecha Girl lines before, the level of customizability that 30-minute sisters adds is really impressive. There's so much potential for selling like different hair options, different face options, different body options, etc., that there's a lot of potential there, and that line, so far as I've seen, has been selling really, really well. This guy on the left, this is exactly the kind of thing that I'm talking about. I want to see more stuff like this from 30-minute missions. Here's another great example. This is another thing that I think is definitely a move in the right direction for them. It is a bit more human-shaped than a lot of their other 30-minute missions kits, but I think it's a really cool and interesting design. This is a preview of the real grade GaoGaiGar. This is not a mecha or a character that I'm really that familiar with. I know of the Soul of Shogoken figure. Love that figure. It's really expensive. This is a hell of a lot cheaper. Not even just panel lining, but just the general design and detail work of this model is really, really impressive. I love those treads especially. So yeah, you can see this comes with some really cool accessories. You get this like screwdriver jackhammer thing. I'm not going to pretend like I know what this is called, but it looks cool. He's got a cool effect part that's presumably for that weapon. He's got a pair of hands that clasp together for his Hell in Heaven attack, and you got some smaller open hands for the basic lion body. One thing I'm noticing is that for Bandai Gold, the chest really doesn't look that bad. I think this is perfectly fine looking plastic right here. Oh, look at those treads. Look at those treads. Hang on, I gotta replay that. Look at those treads. That is so cool. One more time. Oh yeah, that is gonna be so neat. Look at those vents. The vents are all geared together, so when you open one up, it opens all of them. That is so cool. So let's see, you take off the front vents. How's this hand come out? How's this hand gonna come out? So you pull those tabs out. And then what? Oh, it's got an automorph gimmick. That's so cool. That's almost as cool as the spinny way that you get them out on the Super Robot Shogoken. Not quite as cool, but still really impressive they managed to fit some kind of motion gimmick in that. Oh, that's what this effect is for. It's like a barrier shield thing. And he's got an alternate hand to go with it. That's pretty cool. Let's look at this thing here. First of all, chrome bits, chrome pistons, chrome tip, very nice. I don't see any obvious nub marks on it. And it freaking hydraulics. You can pump it, the pistons move. I guess there's some sort of spring on the inside because it springs back. Like, holy crap, Bandai, you are pulling out all the stops with this kit. They designed the mane on the lion to fold inwards so you could get his arms across his chest. Look at that. That is so cool. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like. This video was recorded from one of my live streams. I usually try to stream around 4 o'clock in the afternoon till 6 or 7 in the evening Eastern Standard Time. If you want to make sure you don't miss the next stream or any future videos I upload, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I'd like to also extend a thank you to my patrons for helping make this channel possible, and a special thank you to my Master Grade tier patrons like Yank. If you want to join the Patreon yourself, you will gain access to cool features like full archives of past streams and early access to some new videos. Thanks again for watching, and as always, I'm your host Second Soundwave, and I'll see you next time. Take care, guys.